Congratulations, you've made it to part 2 of the Beginner's Guide to Spiritual Alchemy. I am so proud of you guys because you can get really lost in those first 4 stages, especially when you're not conscious of this whole process. But you made it this far. So let's not waste any more time on becoming your very own spiritual alchemist. Now, before we start, I want you to remember to hit that subscribe and that like button because it really does help me out with this show, and I really do appreciate all your support. Also, don't forget to visit marisagreco.com and join our tribe because every Monday I actually have an open office hours over Zoom where we can check in and we can go over any snags that you may be experiencing on your journey and talk it out. Have some fun together. So let's have a quick review of the first 4 stages of spiritual alchemy that we discussed in the part 1 episode. Now, if you remember, the first stage is called calcination, and it's during this stage that you feel like your whole world is falling apart. Stage 2 is called dissolution. Here, we begin to remove those old programs and we start to look at our pain with more of a benevolent eye. Now, stage 3 is called separation. This is where we begin to create more space to hold more light, which is the real you, so that you're no longer on autopilot running those old programs that have been keeping you trapped for so long. Now, stage 4 is conjunction. This is a stage where we begin to embrace and ground all of our inner selves, right? You're no longer being polarized between them, back and forth. You're actually getting a sense of your center and your superpowers. I broke it up this way so it's a little easier to understand and to digest. Because I find that sometimes when I get too much information, I just want to jump to the very end and I just want to do that. But as we've learned on this whole spiritual journey, the universe doesn't let you skip any parts. You just can't take your crap to those higher dimensions. That's why it's so important to take your time and to be patient with yourself. Remember, these are just stages that we're going over, platforms, containers, right? You may repeat one over and over again until it clicks, and that's okay because we all have different lessons to learn. I just want you to keep moving forward, even if that means you're moving really slowly. Just keep going.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
So the first 4 stages in spiritual alchemy involve working with our former selves, right? We're busting out of those old programs. And as we look into the following 3 stages, we're going to do so with clear eyes. Now, they may be a little red and puffy from that whole other process, but that's okay because we're getting closer to bridging with our more refined self. So let's go a little further in discussing the process with stage 5. Now, stage 5, this is called fermentation. It's in this stage where we let those old programs break apart. Kind of like sugar when you're making alcohol. We keep all the alcohol and we remove all that crap that's floating to the top so that you're just left with the spirit. I mean, wine. We're fermenting. We're fermenting like wine. And just like wine, it takes time for you to reach your full flavor. I mean, full potential. Now, the 5th stage is subtle compared to the previous ones. So you may feel like you're in limbo here, right? You don't really know who you are. You don't know what you should do. You may even feel stuck and self-critical. Oh my God, it just sounds like you're drunk. Now, this is where old programs and beliefs can start to pop up, but they don't have as much power to take you over. So you might just feel frustrated and annoyed that they're there, but that's okay. This is why patience and persistence is really important. And at the same time, allow yourself to surrender. Let go of all those limitations and all that heaviness that you're still carrying. Now, let's break this up even a little more. There's actually two parts to the fifth stage. Now, one part is putrefaction, right? This is the decay of our former selves, the release of those old programs and the release of those unconscious beliefs. It's in this stage too that you may find that you're gonna have to let go of people who contribute to these old beliefs about you. This is why it may feel really intense, because we're kind of afraid to let go of our old identity. I mean, who are we gonna turn into? Who are we going to become? I mean, we did have some good qualities, right? But don't worry, you're not losing your essence. You're burning away those old, limited, heavy, dense, lead-like programs. And you're making space for the new you to be put back together even better.
Wait, what am I looking at right now? Why are you hanging off the earth like a bat?
So trust your process and remember that these old programs, they're not the real you. They've unconsciously been passed down from generation to generation. There's ancestral programs. They've been given to you by teachers, by neighbors, by family members.
Princess, shut up!
I beg your pardon?
This is why you also may be feeling a little bit crazy and depressed, like you're losing your mind, you're losing your safety net. But I want you to know you're not alone, and this is just part of this whole crazy process. And we all go through this stage. So just remember, be kind to yourself. And the more that you can surrender, the faster this whole crazy phase is gonna pass.
You must not let anyone define your limits because your only limit is your soul.
Now, to help you out, if you can spend some time alone, remove distractions. Just take this time, remove distractions like television or social media. You know, in the old days when somebody was going through this, they would spend some time in a dark cave in the forest for like days on end.
I'm not afraid.
Actually, I could probably go to my dad's house and spend some time in the cantina in the basement. I could lock the door, I can wear a hat, I may have some wine, I'll have sauce in there, I could buy myself some time. I'd have zero distractions except really good food and a lot of wine. Not a bad idea. Okay, now I want you to start to feel what it is that inspires you, what ignites your inner fire, what ignites your soul. And if you need some help here, you can join my mystical tribe because we discuss new concepts, we discuss new ideas, and we practice meditations together to help you on your journey. So you don't have to be alone. You have some company. You get to hang out with us. Now, part 2 of the 5th stage is Spiritization. This is a little more fun. It's getting a little lighter because now when you look at the world around you, you may start to feel that stronger connection to your higher self because you're letting go of any thoughts that take you out of your alignment with your happiness, with your inner peace. You are in the vortex and you're no longer identified with that limited ego, that limited mind. You may actually even feel inspired to go on a retreat or join a like-minded group like your mystical guide. I just plug it again? Yes. Now you may feel compelled to focus here on sacred symbols or images to help you open up to new dimensions. And if you want to learn more about that, check out my video on the 8 spiritual dimensions. Now I know there's more than 8 spiritual dimensions, but for this video we're going to focus on the 8 so that we can do this in bite sizes, but there's a lot more dimensions out there. But go check out that video after you finish this one. So now you're beginning to confront your fears consciously. I want you to start to raise your energy. You're raising your vibration. You're becoming more particles and less matter. Now, if you can mix in some intentions with a little focus, you're about to create the life that you want. It looks like we're ready to move to the next stage. Now, the 6th stage, this is called Distillation. Okay, this is where you continue that purification process where you're refining your vibration. So now when you face an old program, instead of reacting in that same crazy, explosive, reactive way, you've actually created a little bit more space to create a new choice. Think of it this way. Do you guys remember when you were in science class and you did those experiments where you had to separate the salt from the water by heating up the test tubes? Yeah, I don't remember either. I think I skipped that class. I think I was playing Jatoni somewhere. Well, anyways, think of the salt as those old emotional programs mixed in with the water, right? Which is you. And as we heat up this test tube and the water begins to boil, then it evaporates and flows into the other test tube. Now, when it cools down, we're left with clean, clear water. This is your authentic essence. So it's in this phase that you allow yourself to transmute and to remove any leftover programs, the salt. So now you may find that you're in this stage for a while, but that's okay, guys. It's all part of the journey. After all, you're experiencing these powerful and profound inner transformation. You're being heated up. You're releasing the old crap. So it's okay. Now, one great way to practice this whole stage is to live mindfully and to meditate daily. Also, start to activate your 5 senses, because when you do that, it really helps you to snap out of your head and those old thoughts and bring you into the moment. I even like to sprinkle in some gratitude when I'm in this space because it helps me to keep that energy moving and expanding. And then it really helps me to break those old habits and those old cycles that try to drag me back into my past behaviors.
I'm finally set free.
Now we're entering stage 7. Now this is called coagulation. Now in spiritual alchemy, coagulation involves the solidification of our true selves, right? It's where everything is coming together. We're no longer plagued with those old programs, our old traumas, our old beliefs, our old wounds, our old limitations of the mind. We actually have the space for our consciousness to connect with the prima materia, the spirit, that high energy. We are no longer trapped in duality, right? We have finally become one. We've got the mind, we've got the body, and the soul all in alignment. Even our male and female energies are coming together in harmony. Finally, I'm going to have a little peace even within my own body. That's going to be really nice. So it's in this final stage that your higher self and your higher calling are actually going to come through in a new way, in a strong way. It's where you're finally becoming the gold. It's cooling down and it's solidifying all around you. You are becoming enlightened. Yes, it's all part of the process.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
So now that you have a better understanding of the 7 stages of spiritual alchemy, I hope that this helps guide you on your journey. And again, remember that everything is a spiral. There is no end. So just enjoy the journey. No matter what stage you're in, just be kind to yourself. Set your intentions and do what's best for you, whatever that looks like. But start to become your own spiritual alchemist. Remember, you're not your body. You're not these crazy emotions that you're feeling. And you're not your thoughts that are running back and forth on autopilot. You are that golden light. So shine. Allow yourself to shine and be as bright as you can be. Until next time, I'm Marisa Grieco, your mystical guide.